Hi FlossTube, it's Elisa. It's nighttime here on the 28th of August, and this is my 13th video. Yay! Although I've been having a hard time making this video, so my daughter is currently out at a concert where they have basically done full instrumental arrangements of the various songs used in the Pokemon games, and I believe maybe some of the shows or the movies. I'm not sure about that. But it's a night of geeky fun with her friend, so and I get to make a video. I did start making a video yesterday, but when she was out with her friend in the afternoon, but she decided to come home early and walked in on me when I was doing it. I don't think she really caught on. She's a self-absorbed 12-year-old preteen girl, so she pretty much just came in and went directly to her room. But I stopped it. I wasn't too happy with where it was going, so it's probably fate that it stopped where it did. I don't have a lot to talk about here. I have a very small haul. I have very little bit done on my WIP, my stitching out stigma, and I want to do a tag as well. And yeah, so I'm just going to start and see where I go. I might get a little rambly in the tag, but let's start. So first of all, going with my shout outs of last video, I wanted to start doing shout outs to other FlossTubers so that people who subscribe to me can maybe go and look at their videos and possibly subscribe to them if they would like to. And so these are both two new FlossTubers, which I love new FlossTubers because I was a new FlossTuber just in the beginning of June, so about 3 months ago. And now I have a lot of fun doing all of this. Sorry, my hair. Okay. Which way does it go? That way. Okay. Okay. I'm going to try to get through this video without having to edit. Good luck, me. So, yes. What was I talking about? Yes, two people I wanted to mention. The first one is Irish Enchantment, and I believe her name is Michelle. Hi, Michelle. Hi from Canada. She lives in Ireland, and she has the most amazing accent ever. I love it. I'm a bit of an Anglophile, I guess. I like a lot of things to do with the UK and Ireland and that area. My dad was from England. He grew up there in Yorkshire. And so I have this affinity to it. I've been there twice to England. No, 3 times. 3 times to England. 1 time to Ireland. Not been to Scotland yet. Want to go to Scotland. I went to Northern Ireland. And yeah. I love the UK. So I love everything accents wise. I watch a lot of British TV. Like a lot of British TV. Mainly through Netflix and watching UK Netflix and that kind of stuff. So love it. So hi Michelle. She has 2 videos now. And they're both definitely worth watching. She does great work. She's working on a Thomas Kincaid right now, a Snow White one, which looks really good, which is probably the only one I would want to do. That one or Lady of the Tramp. I'm not sure about any of these other Thomas Kincaid ones. I'm trying to figure out a way where my glasses aren't too glary. Okay, that might be a little better. I have to kind of tilt my head forward enough so that the glare goes away. But of course, if I move just a little bit, it'll come back. Anyway, you're not here to look at my eyes. So yes, welcome Irish Enchantment, Michelle. The second newcomer shout out, numero 2. I'm a little more corny than usual, I think. I've been wanting to do this video for quite a few days and get a few things off my chest, and just things in life and situations have been keeping me from doing so. So, second shout out, Tracy P. She's also a fellow Stitch Maniac. I believe Michelle is a Stitch Maniac as well. And this girl is crazy in a good way. She has very little filter, and it's very refreshing. And she's the kind of person, if, there wasn't quite a lot of, space between us. I'm in Canada. I believe she's in the southern states somewhere. I'd probably want to go and be this person's friend, because that's the kind of awesomeness she is. So check out hers. Her channel name is just Tracy P. I'm going to put both of those down below, and you can check them out and welcome and make them feel welcome, because the more people that actually subscribe and want to watch their videos, the more chance to get more videos out of them. And I think the phenomenon of FlossTube is fantastic, and I've said it before, and I will continue saying it, and I will preach to the choir, and I don't care. I just feel like this positivity in my life has really helped me personally, and I know it's helped other people. So I like to see it grow. So anything that's positive in my life, I like to see other people involved, and I like to grow it, make it better, make it bigger. We're never going to be huge. Like, we're not going to have thousands of videos a day or millions of subscribers. Although some of you FlossTubers out there are getting up there with the number of subscribers you have. Kudos to you. And you're just it's wonderful to watch all the old timers and newcomers, and I'm just waxing philosophical at the moment. So let's move on. I did get a small haul, and they're all over here on my light. I'm going to take them one at a time. Most of you have seen that Gina from Gina's Unique Boutique had a sale in the end of July, I believe. So I just got my order. Now let me say a little something about Gina's sale. She has so much cool stuff. And her sales are on her Facebook page. So she will post over a weekend. I think she had like 200 needle minders for sale on this. I don't know how many different designs, but she must have been. I'm guessing. I will not go back and count, but I'm guessing she posted at least 25 to 40 different types each day. And she only did it for a few hours each day. And basically she would post what it was, and she would post how many she had. So you had to respond with me to get in the first how many comments to be eligible for one. I like the sale. It gives you a sense of, oh, I want that. Hurry up, put your name in. It's kind of like eBay back in the day when you could only bid. There was no buy it now. This is way back in the day. It was, unfortunately, as I've talked about before, we're not doing great financially, and we won't be until I probably go back to school. And so I really didn't have a lot of money to spend on these deal miners, but I knew I had a small budget in mind, and I was going to stick to it. No. No, unfortunately, I didn't. I really tried to be good and go back and keep track of what I bid on, but because it was so spur of the moment, and there were some that I really like, oh yes, yes, definitely this one, oh definitely that one, oh definitely that one, and then I would get lost, and I was like, okay, which ones did I go back? And I would go back and I would remove my comment from those that I didn't really want. I was trying to keep. Anyway, so I failed horribly and ended up with a order that was way more than my budget. And I had to, and I felt so bad for doing this to Gina. It was just more hassle for her, and I know she had a ton of hassle, like that sale. Just, I know that must take a lot out of her, and I'm really sorry that I added to that hassle. But I had to get her to remove a few of the things, so I only ended up with 3. I ended up with 3 needle minders, but I'm really happy with the ones I ended up with. And from now on, when I don't have money, I'm just gonna ignore the sale posts from Gina, because I have sometimes impulse control issues, so I need to make sure I just take a step back and be like, I have enough stuff right now. I don't need to tempt myself anymore. So the first one is this little guy. Let me show you. Oh, there he is. I'm Harry Potter. Oh, yeah. He's cute. He's sparkly. He has the green eyes. Oh, that was the only one of the things I've always been so upset with um, the movie adaptations of the Harry Potter books. Harry had green eyes. He had his mother's eyes, and they were green. I believe Daniel Radcliffe has blue eyes, so anyway, I like him. He's so cute. Look at him. He has his wand and his scar and his glasses, and he's adorable. And I found out this really neat thing about these magnets. These magnets are so strong; they have the capacity to go through my entire finger, and hold on. See? There's nothing holding that. It is the magnetism from this, and that's how thick. And look, I can move it. Look, see, like that's how strong these magnets are. Quite impressive. Quite impressive. Um, I love it. I have a few of. I have all 4. Which one next? This one next. I have all 4. um, Hogwarts crests, which I'll put a picture of here. As you can see, I had to put Ravenclaw first because they're the best. Then there's Slytherin, which is my daughter's house. And then those Gryffindors, but we don't talk much about them. And finally, last but not least, Hufflepuff. Okay, so I have all 4 of those patterns, and they are from the World in Stitches Etsy shop, but she has pulled them down. She was also the one who created my Hogwarts crest pattern that I have shown you guys all so many times. So I got the 4 other patterns, luckily before she closed shop, and I'm hoping to do them soon. So the Harry Potter and this one will go well when I decide to do those patterns as well. So this is the Nimbus 2000. Very cool. Very, very, very cool. This one has a bit of a smaller magnet on the back. I was a little, but I guess because they'd have to be flat, it would be really hard to put anything bigger on this one. But I believe the the strength of magnets. Yeah, they're still strong, just as strong. So yeah, that one makes a nice one. I like the flatter ones, flatter needle minders, because I find they kind of hold on to the needles better. And my last one. This one has almost already gotten poached by my daughter, but she's not getting it. And that is my Jack. And what's really cool about my Jack, he opens up like that. I love it. I love Jack Skellington. So cool. I actually got this one just to be like a needle box. Like every spare needle I have, it can go in there. And they fit needles very nicely. And they stay in there very nicely because, again, the rare earth magnets on the back really holds them tight. It doesn't hold. It does. There's a small magnet, a very small magnet, if you can see it, right there, and right there, and right there. And I don't believe it's a rare earth magnet because when I put the needle on the outside, it holds it, but it's very flimsy. So this is definitely more for putting them on the inside where they'll be secure. But I love it. And it even says Jack Skellington on the bottom. It is so pretty. I love it. I have to try to find one for my daughter now, though. So I'm going to see if Gina has any more. Maybe it could be a cute little stocking stuffer. But I found out that this beautiful lamp right next to me, right there, is magnetic. Well, it is metal. I thought it was very cheap. It's a cheap lamp. But they stick to them, so that's great. I have my own little start of my needle minder collection. So that's my teeny tiny haul. And it's probably the last haul I'm going to be getting for a while, at least until October. But I have plenty of projects, hopefully, to keep me busy until then. So, just excuse me for a second. I will fix it. What next? WIP. So, this week I have been sick. Well, last week I was sick. Started last Thursday. Got extremely bad last weekend. And then this week it kind of hung on in a stuffy nose, sinus pain way. So it's been a long time since I've felt well enough to stitch. I think I stitched one day last weekend, or early this week. Maybe it was Monday. I don't remember. I stitched like a mad woman to try to get something done on my Stitching Out Stigma piece. And I'll show you what I've gotten done. So, oh, actually the color is a lot nicer at night. So, if you can see, before I was up here, and now I got all these. This is the 9 rows of like 68 stitches. Unfortunately, it's a big rectangle, and I don't know if you could see it here, that way. Because of the variegated floss, it just came out very blocky. Not this nice kind of uneven, no, it's very stripy, and I don't like stripy variegated flosses. I know it's the nature of the beast. It's one color after another, so it's repeating. It's going to be stripy, but it does not look good, which is why I think variegated floss is better to do smaller things, not bigger things. But these 9 took me like 3 or 4 hours to do, and it was pain in the ass, like really, really, really long, tedious. Finally I got to here, and then I decided to go down here and then do this part, and that was awesome. And I'm hoping that by keeping on going this is going to break up a little bit, and it's not going to be as stripy noticeable. But I can notice it, and it bugs me to no end. So I've considered taking it out. I've considered, because basically what I've done is I would make sure that it would follow properly, so that colors would kind of line up and kind of do this grouping, because I really like this kind of grouping here. This kind of grouping here, like this pink, and how it's kind of, yeah, it's grouped together, but it's, it's offset a little bit, so it gives it not very straight edges. Here is just straight edge. Sorry if you can hear the bathroom behind me. I live in a very small apartment. There's straight edge, straight edge, straight edge, and then here it's even more funky because it's doing this weird. Anyway, it just looks off. But the overall visual, overall visual of it is still very, very striking, and I like it. So it's because of the time crunch, it's probably just going to stay as it is, unfortunately. But I need to pick it up and start working on it again. I'm hoping this weekend is going to be very stitching heavy. Oh, and I found my needle minder. I sent it flying, and I think it got stuck under some furniture, but I ended up finding it. I'm so happy. My dragon. This is also a genus. Needle minder. Very pretty. I love it. So, yeah, like I said, I haven't really got any work on him done. And then Katie. Oh my gosh, Katie. Why? August thanks. I can't start anything new. I don't have anything new to start. But I want to because of you guys. It's okay. I think I'm okay with not starting something else. I need to focus on this because time limit. It's definitely going to be a race to the finish line, I think, with this one. But I have, like, this is a major amount of the stitching. I mean, the letters, there's still a lot of stitching in the letters, and he's only about half done right now. Yeah. And I realized, I said before that this is the widest part of the pattern. It's not. There's about a part down here, there's about 3 rows of close to 80 stitches. So, I might, after I finish this bit of floss right here, I might start the white letters on top, just to have a change of pace, and to get these little finishes, because I think those letters are going to really feel like little tiny finishes as I do them. So I might need that to keep me motivated to keep going. So I'm really worried. I've counted it. I've looked and I've counted it. It's 18 count, but it looks a lot bigger than it should be. I don't know. Anyway, I can't tell yet. It's still within the confines of 10 inches by 10 inches, which is what the dimensions we need for this is. So that's my stitching out stigma. We've been getting quite a little bit of flurry of advertisement, I guess, on Stitching Out Stigma. Mr. Crossstitch, who's a UK blogger, posted about it. Hi, Mr. Crossstitch, if you ever come across this video, ever, thank you for posting about it. It is a fantastic endeavor. I know I'm slouching a little bit. I've been trying to stay sitting upright, but my back is not doing well. So I really wish that Blair would get out of my way. Anyway. What do I do now? Tag! I'm gonna do Coffeestitcher's tag. I've been wanting to do it for a while. It's a 3-question tag, but I feel like I could really ramble on in some of those questions. So I am going to get the first question. Number 1, what is one designer you didn't initially have any interest in until you actually did one? That Okay, so I'm going to answer this in a slightly different way. Because I have only really done Etsy patterns so far and patterns I've made myself. There's so many patterns out there and designers that I want to stitch, and at first didn't really want to stitch, but after I've seen them, I really want to stitch them. So the first one's Mirabilia. I didn't think I was going to want to do, these girls or queens or women of it's not really my aesthetic. It's more, it very much look like posters. I don't know if it's just the ones that are just floating in space, they just don't appeal to me, or what it is, but they're just these pretty girls in pretty clothes. They're like fashion things, and I'm not really a fashion kind of person. But the more I've seen them, and the more I've seen them stitch up, and not just the pictures, when I go look at the actual pattern, the pictures that they use for the patterns are really, really bad for Mirabilias, I find. Because when you see them on FlossTube, or you see them pictures of close-up of the stitching, wow, they're gorgeous. They're so beautiful. The color, I'm sorry, I've just gotten the hiccups. The colors, the intricacies, the beading, everything is just so pretty. And it all comes together very beautifully. So I will definitely do a Mirabilia. I have a couple in mind, and I'm not sure. I'm really not sure which one I'm going to do first, or when I'm going to do it. I've actually pretty much convinced myself to do one of her pixies first, the Nora Corbett pixies. I think the one I want to do is Gigi, the one with the blue. But I want to do a color conversion for her hair and make her blonde, because my daughter's favorite color is blue, and she's a blonde, so I want to make it for her. And that's what I think I'm going to start with, and then decide to do a Mirabilia if I really want to, because the investment as well is quite up there. Not as much as the second on my list, which is the Chatelaines. I was first introduced to Chatelaines at my LNS because they have several on the wall, and they are so intricate and so beautiful. But again, it's not really my aesthetic. The mandala, it's very beautiful. Like, I really appreciate the symmetry from my eye. My artistic eye very much appreciates the symmetry and the colors and the thing, the little details, because there's little tiny details in there that are just, oh my god. But none of them have really called to me and said, this is my Mirabilia. Not Mirabilia, Chatelaine. This is the one I want to do. I've seen Katie, the Tuscan Town one. I mean, that was destined to be. I have a few that I have my eye on. There is the polar one, which has the North Pole and the South Pole, and it has the Aurora Borealis in the middle, and it has the kind of cutouts of the Arctic life. I like that. I like that because it has the pieces, but it's not so much a mandala then. It's very a choppy mandala, so it kind of loses that mandala effect, which I kind of want to go with. There's the Egyptian mandala one, which I think is really pretty too. But I really want to see it closer up. Like that's the problem with these really intricate designs. The pictures for it, you can't. It's the pictures on patterns are such low resolution. You have to go digging to see if people post pictures of their current progress, and not all of them are out there. So there are several other ones that I never thought I would get into, that I'm considering doing. What was the other one? I can't remember right now. The Brooks Books, that's it. The Brooks Books designer. At first, it looked very difficult. They looked so like intricate, and with the paper, I've never worked on paper, so I have no idea how to do it. I will probably end up ripping it horribly. But I found some designs of theirs that I really kind of want to do for my two nieces and my sister and my mom for Christmas. And they're not very expensive kits, and they're small enough, and I hope they stitch up pretty quickly. But all the little add-ons and the memory floss. What is this stuff? I've never seen this stuff before, but you can make like curls and like little roses out of it. It's amazing. It's I don't know what it is. It scares me a little bit. But I just found they just posted on the Brooks Books Facebook group a freebie, and it's super cute. It is a little minion. It's a minion, Lizzie Bennett from Pride and Prejudice. It's so cute. It is so cute. It's this little minion in this little pink dress, and she has little curls coming out, and it is so cute. So I downloaded it immediately because I think it's hilarious. And I was looking at the instructions, and yeah, I don't think I have to be afraid of this memory floss stuff. It's basically, it must be just like a wired floss, like something that retains its shape, because you just shape it up. And it also has ribbons. They also have ribbons. It's a lot more than your usual just flat cross stitch, but I like that. I like that it already has its final form in mind without having to, frame it or whatever. So I really like that about the Brooks Books. So I'm definitely going to be getting some Brooks Books designs for sure. Okay, so next question. What is one designer that you cannot get in the groove on? Oh my. I may make some enemies on this one, but Heaven and Earth Designs. No, hear me out. I can tell when a design has been designed from the cross stitch up or from the cross stitch down. And what I mean is photorealistic patterns that have been gone through and pump out photorealistic, pixel by pixel. You would not think that these 3 pixels together makes the final project, but it does. It looks great, and that kind of thing. It's basically taking the artwork and using one of these pick-to-pack pattern makers on it. And yes, there's tweaking, and here's the thing. People are doing this, and people are doing this on Etsy a lot with very, very intricate patterns and making them huge. And then people are getting those patterns, and these patterns have never been stitched up. They've never been, there's no model stitches for any of these it's just they post what the artwork is and they put it through. I've played around with these pattern makers. I've done a couple of freehand patterns, but I've also tried putting things through these pattern makers. And I tell you, you have to fine tune it. You have to go in there and be like, oh my gosh, they made this part that was supposed to be, let's say, pink, and they made it brown, but because of the shade of that pixel, they had to, it had to pick the closest possible, or it's possible the color code in the pattern maker is just a little bit off from what the actual floss color looks like, so it uses it for something that it should be, but it doesn't work. Or it will put too many of the same color together and not do enough fade or blending. I find that these patterns, especially the ones that, not so much the ones done Heaven and Earth, I feel they have to do a lot of fine-tuning on the Heaven and Earth patterns because of the way I've seen them come out. There has to be some work done after they throw them through the pattern maker to make them come out that way. But there's some people who are selling patterns on Etsy who aren't doing the work. They're just looking at it and saying, hey, that looks fine, and just, putting up this pattern for sale. I know a few people on Stitch Mania have been posting their progresses on those kind of things, and unfortunately, the results aren't the best. And I know if I started stitching up something like that, I would get really disappointed very quickly. So for me, I have always preferred patterns that looked like they were made from the cross stitches up. Basically, what I mean from that is they were designed with cross stitch in mind. They, one very good example of this is taking whoever took the Thomas Kincaid paintings and transferred them onto, cross stitch, knew what they were doing, and they didn't just run this through a automatic thing. It was someone who went and chose the colors and what colors would go where and how it would go, and what back stitching would need to go where, what kind of, if there was fractional stitches needed to go where to make the picture whole, and to make the picture translate properly. And those are the patterns I kind of migrate to, and there's some that end up being very photorealistic. There was one on, I think it was Completed Cross Stitch Projects, which is a Facebook group, one of the first cross stitch Facebook groups I was on, and it's a Dimensions kit, and it's Leopard and Repose, and it's stunning, but it was painted per, it was made with the cross stitches in mind, not photorealism in mind. But it came out very photorealistic. I don't know if I'm making any sense. Please let me know if I'm not making any sense with this, because I find it really hard to talk about this to, my boyfriend, because he has a very different eye than I do, and they don't always match. So, the Heaven and Earth designs, I have seen some, like, Carolyn Mazzeo's, Mazzeo? I'm sorry, I just butchered your name. Her Blue Dragon. It was fantastic. There were a few patchy bits that I was kind of cringing at, because it basically ends up looking like a low resolution picture, or a lower resolution picture, because some parts end up being very patchy, and it makes me think of a picture that was very small that you then blew up in Photoshop. I do a lot of Photoshopping, so this is what the comparisons I'm pulling it to. There were certain ones, the girls with the very, very big eyes, and I found the few that I've seen stitched up between their eyes, the skin there's always ends up being a color that just looks off. And that's the problem with those kinds of patterns, I find. Now, that being said, there are several of the Heaven and Earth designs that I would love to do. And I'm just not, what's the word? Brave enough, I guess, to do one that I can't find pictures of people actually doing it now. Because I'm too afraid of there being major issues with the colors chosen by the pattern makers for those kind of photorealistics. I'm very well might try to do the petit point for those designs, because I know it's the same designs they use. And I've been very interested in doing petit point, and I know it goes faster, but I don't know. I'm very torn. I have seen a few Heaven and Earth designs completed in person at my LNS, and they are very impressive, but they always look just a little off. Just a little, just not enough to really tell you why I'm annoyed by it, but it looks, they always just look a little bit off to my eye. And that could be my very picky eye. I have been known to have very strong reactions against certain visuals. So it could just all be me and in my head. But yes, Heaven and Earth designs, I kind of want to do one. I'm afraid. I don't know. I'm afraid that kind of effort and stuff. Well, I'm going to see, because I'm going to be doing the biggest kind of pick-to-pat thing when I'm doing the Stitching George Washington. So that's going to definitely be something to see if I like that kind of really high pixelation stitching and huge amounts of stitching. But I don't think that's going to be very representative of what a Heaven and Earth design could be, because I believe Heaven and Earth designs are on average about 80 colors, and I'm only getting 9 colors in my... why do I keep going the wrong way? I hate that this thing is reversed in the... Anyway, I'm not going to go there. It's a weird night. It's been a long day. I still need to make supper for myself, and... I'm going to do that shortly after I'm done this video. So yes, Heaven and Earth designs will probably not show up in my rotation anytime soon. I want to do one for because I feel like they're the 5K marathon of stitching goals. I finished a Heaven and Earth design, and I'd hang it on my wall. And to be honest, I would probably end up doing either the blue dragon or the white dragon. One of the big dragon ones. And I'm so afraid of going, of just not liking the finished product. I don't think I could with that. I see what would happen, and I know this. If I started looking at it and doing it and being like, no, it looks bad, it does not look right, it does not work, I would put it away, and that would be money wasted. And I can't afford to waste money on that kind of stuff, so... I might give it a few years, and if I'm still stitching then, maybe decide to do one. Well, of course I'm going to be stitching in a few years. I have a 5-year commitment to stitching George Washington. I love it. Last question. What is one chart that you would love to see made, and who would you like to see it design it? Okay. Well, there are several artists on DeviantArt, and actually one of them, I can't remember her name right now, She designs these amazing dragons. She does most of her, I think it's a she. She does most of her drawings on kind of a brown paper, drawing paper, and it really makes them pop. And the colors she used are fantastic. Lots of colors, lots of fine lines, beautiful, 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 beautiful dragons. I want to see them in stitchable form. Now, there is someone on Etsy who has a contract with this artist and has put up, oh, sorry, my back just started to ask me, so, that's not good. Okay, let's, anyway, someone on Etsy has made designs out of this person's, pictures, but again, it looks like it's pretty much pick to pack, and they look quite cleaned up. It's true, it's quite well done, but I've been trying to do them myself. Actually, I've actually been attempting to convert little bits of them because it's time consuming and extremely, I haven't gotten it all the way down yet. So I have actually been trying to convert these to workable patterns, and if I feel like I'd be able to, I would probably go to the artist and be like, hey, I know you're working with this person, but here's what I can produce. And I think that would be fantastic. That's an absolute pipe dream, though, for now, because these patterns are absolutely, these dragons are just wholly amazing. They're just stunning. Some of the most beautiful dragon artwork I've ever seen in my life. And I have the secret dream of really kind of figuring out the formula of turning these beautiful pictures into beautiful patterns with lots and lots of back stitching, because the fine lines that this artist uses on her artwork, it totally would lend itself beautifully to back stitching. So so that's my not so secret anymore project. I don't think I'm going to post any of the artwork right now. I'm still thinking of it. I'm still trying to figure out how best it would work. And obviously, if it doesn't work, then I'm not going to take it to the artist and be like, hey, can I do these designs? It's going to have to be perfect. So that might not happen for a while. But yes, that's who I would love to see these dragons turned into patterns. And who would like to see it? Me. I'd like to see me design these dragons, because I think I could do it. I've been having a lot of I think I can do it moments in the last few months. I'm not sure if this is a good thing or I'm just deluding myself. So, we shall see. I'm going to go figure out why my back is twinging so badly. And I hope all of you guys have a wonderful evening. And keep on stitching. Bye, everyone.